छन्दोभ्यो जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यापोरि विश्रुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय मेधा देवी जुषमाना नागात् विश्वाची भद्रा सुमनश्यमाना त्वया जुष्टानुदमाना दुरुक्तान् बृहत्पतेम विदते सुवीराः त्वया जुष्टा ऋषिर्भवति देवी त्वया ब्रह्मा गतस्सीरुतत्वया त्वया जुष्टश्चित्रं भिन्दते वसुसानो जुषस्व द्रविणो न मेधे मेधान् महीन्द्रो ददातु मेधान् देवी सरस्वती मेधा मे अस्मिना पुवावाडत्ता पुष्करस्रजा अप्सरासु जया मेधा गन्धर्वेषु जयन्मयः दैवी मेधा सरस्वती सा वा मेधा सुरभिर्जुषताभु स्वाहा मेधा सुरभिर्विश्वरूपा हिरण्यवर्णा जगति जगम्या ऊर्जस्वती पयसा बिम्बमाना सा मेधा सुप्रतीका जुषन्ताम् मयि मेधा मयि प्रजा मयि अग्निस्तेजो ददातु मयि मेधा मयि प्रजा मयि इन्द्रियं ददातु मयि मेधा मयि प्रजा मयि सूर्यो प्राजो ददातु हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो
महागणपते नमोस्तुते Oh ईश्वराम्बा प्रियनन्दना ईश्वराम्बा प्रियनन्दना प्यारे नंदना दर्शन दीजो प्यारे नंदना दर्शन दीजो यशोदा के दर्शन दीजो यशोदा के नाथ दर्शन देवी लक्ष्मी मामाई देवी लक्ष्मी मामाई दया करी
Om Sai Ram, Bhagwan's counsel for today. A mother's love is the sweetest and purest reflection of God's love in this world. She carries the child in her womb, nurtures it with her very life, and silently bears every pain with boundless patience and tenderness. Her prayers become the child's protection, and her sacrifice becomes the foundation of its future. Therefore, the scriptures proclaim, Matru Devo Bhava, revere the mother as God. One who fills the mother's heart with joy shall surely earn the grace of the divine. For in the mother dwells love that is selfless, sacred, and eternal. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Sai Ram. Following are the announcements for today. Bhajans 2026. Our center will be resuming our monthly Bhajans for the month of May. The upcoming Bhajans will be on the 16th of May, next Saturday. The practice will start at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., followed by Vedas chanting at 7:15 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and continue with Bhajans from 7:30 p.m. onwards. We warmly invite all Bhavika students and parents to join and support one another in this divine offering. For those who would like to sponsor fruits, prasadam or garland, kindly contact Sister Devika or Sister Divya. In conjunction of Ishwarama and Mother's Day, there is a short performance of love by our very own Bhavika students. Let's give them a round of applause and welcome them.
Sai Ram, dear uncles, aunties, brothers and sisters. Today, in conjunction with Ishwarama Day and also Mother's Day, we remember not just our own mothers, but also the great mothers of the world who love unconditionally and serve selflessly. One such divine mother was Mother Ishwarama, the loving mother of our Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Her life was filled with kindness, sacrifice and devotion, qualities that every mother embodies. Today, Let's learn about the deep bond of love and devotion that existed between Satya Sai Baba and his mother Ishwarama. Their story teaches us the importance of faith, purity, and unwavering dedication to God. One evening, after their Balvikas classes, Teja from Group 4 and Parti from Group 3 were sharing their thoughts about Mother Ishwarama.
Hey, Parti, did you know? Swami once said, I resolved on my birth. I chose who should be my mother.
Really? So, she was chosen for him even before she was born?
Exactly, Parti. But her name wasn't Ishwarama when she was born. She was known as Namagiri Amma. However, Swami's grandfather, called Raju, who was a very wise man, had a vision of the future and started calling her Ishwarama because he knew she would become the mother of Ishwara, meaning God.
Wow, that's so divine. It shows how special she was from the very beginning.
And Parthi, did you hear about Ishwarama's final moment? It was honestly so moving.
No? Tell me what happened, Teja.
Well, during the summer classes, students would go around doing Nagari Sankirtan early in the morning, and Swami would give them darshan. On the morning of May 6, 1972, he returned from his bath, and Ishwarama sat on the veranda and finished her morning coffee happily. And then, suddenly, she called out, Swami, 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 3 times. And he responded with, coming, coming. But just then, she took her last breath. It was such a powerful sign of her devotion.
That's so beautiful. She didn't need to deserve or care for at that moment. Her love for Swami was all that mattered.
Exactly, Parthi. And Swami's response was like a direct connection, almost like an elephant calling for its master, and the Lord arriving immediately.
It's so inspiring. Her final call was only for Swami, even though her daughter and granddaughter were there. That's the sign of a truly pure and devoted life.
Yes, it proves that a pure heart yearns for God even in its last moment. It teaches us that living with love and devotion makes our life most meaningful.
The story of Mother Ishwarama reminds us that a life filled with purity and devotion creates a divine bond with God. Her unwavering love and selfless sacrifice show us the true meaning of motherhood, an eternal connection that blossoms through kindness, humility, and faith. Her life is a shining beacon, inspiring us to nurture love in our hearts and to serve others with a pure and humble spirit. On this Mother's Day, let us honor all mothers who give their love, care, and sacrifices selflessly. They are the angels among us, guiding us with patience and compassion. May their love motivate us to be compassionate children, caring friends, and selfless human beings. Remember, true motherhood is about giving love and service, lessons that turn every day into a celebration of the beautiful, selfless love that mothers share with the world. Happy Mother's Day to all mothers. Jai Sai Ram.
Today, we are privileged to welcome Brother Dhammika Kalapuge, a man who has beautifully merged professional mastery with spiritual devotion. As the head of sitcom, Brother Dhammika has reached nearly 400,000 people across 11 countries. His career highlights are extraordinary, from receiving the first ever recognition award for service excellence to being invited by the President of Sri Lanka to train cabinet of ministers. Yet, beyond his success as a world-class consultant, he's a dedicated seeker on the side path. Please join me in welcoming Brother Dhammika to share his thoughts and experiences.
Sayonara, brothers and sisters. And it's an honor to be here today because I met Brother Nara last week in Budapest. So anyway, this trip was planned because my children were joining from Australia to Sri Lanka, so that they were short holidays, so that therefore that when I said that I am coming here, he said, brother, if possible, just try to drop into our center and then speak about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm very much honored. And my humble pranams at the Buddha's feet of Bhajans at the Sai Baba for giving this opportunity to share some of the learnings that I have been having with my career as well as with Swami for the last 40 years of devotion. Today is a special day. Brother Nara told me to speak about something to do with the Mother's Day. We have the greatest mother here, Ishwarama. And the Bhagavata's performance and whatever they have been saying covered it to a great extent. And she had a wish when she got to know that Swami, when Satya was being born, and they were going to be a god. And one of the simplest wishes was that Satya, you have to remain in Budapest and do something for this poor village and for the betterment of these people. So that's the greatest kindness what she had shown. And it's a lesson for all of us, to the mothers here as well as for the fathers too, that helping poor and then to do something for the betterment of mankind. Today, the slide was put there, I was deeply touched with that. We have enough information, but what is needed is transformation. Just gathering information from everywhere, to what extent does it do a kind of a transformation? We need a God like this to the world to bring about this transformation. A lot of information is there, but how well that we could take it for our own transformation. And I happened to speak one day in my country on the Women's Day during this predominantly there were about 500. And I happened to put a picture on the screen where mother is feeding the child while texting. So mother is feeding the child while texting. And the body expressions all that, it shows that her more concentration is there for the message than feeding the baby. And I did some research on this, and what they say is during our time we could see that when my mother was feeding my sisters, she used to very gently touch the forehead and then keep on feeding. Then only the real nourishment of the milk will get into the child's body. That's number one. Number two, they say in human psychology too, that when you are feeding the child, the bonding starts going. Sigmund Freud is a psychologist who came to this world, and he said, smile is the first gesture we have brought to this world to demonstrate our attitude of gratitude. Smile is the first gesture we have brought this world to demonstrate our attitude of gratitude. Why does he say so? He said when the child is being born to this world, immediately he cannot suck milk. And for these muscles to get strengthened, it takes about 20 to 30 minutes. The same way, when you are being delivered to this world by the mother, she also cannot feed the baby immediately, and for blood to convert into milk with that hormone process, it takes about 20 to 30 minutes. So what Sigmund Freud says is that, see the way how the nature balances things, just the moment that child has the strength to suck milk in the muscles, that's the exact time mother had produced milk. So now mother will take the child and so lovingly start feeding. Then what happens? When the stomach is full, the child wants to say thank you, but it had never learned words yet. So what it does is it will take the mouth out and look up and then smile. So this is the first gesture a child had brought to this world to demonstrate their attitude of gratitude. So how can it happen when a mother's concentration is somewhere else than when you're feeding the child? So that the bonding is that, okay, when you're feeding the child, you have to tap the forehead and then feed. That bonding will start. Then the nourishment of the milk, it says, when you have your 100% concentration on the child, it becomes nourished, which is needed for the baby. And the next thing is, when your concentration is somewhere else, that by the safety of the child. So when I put this picture and when I explain those factors, and many of the ladies who are there, they really felt guilty. So mother is the greatest person on the earth, and then you become responsible for the development of the child. And today, the children get enough and more information, but transformation does not take place when you don't have the proper parenting. I thought of just, given the time schedule at about 10 minutes, to cover up a thing called locate, L-O-C-A-T-E, locate. Locate is about find out. I often in my programs work with mnemonics, L-O-C-A-T is one of the mnemonics that I generally use. I thought today being the Mother's Day, that okay, I will share it along with you. When you are dealing with your children, L-O-C-A-T, the L is all about listening. Whenever a child walks up to you, never be prejudiced. Listen to the child. And when you really want to listen, all that you got to do is be silent. Now, if you look at the English words listen and silent, they both are being spelled with the same letters. L-I-S-T-N listen, S-I-L-E-N is silent. Now, first thing what you to do is, as Swami rightly says, be quiet, be calm. And whenever even somebody is abusing you, you have to be quiet. Listen. You have to listen. So whenever a child walks up to you and when it starts explaining, don't ever try to have a kind of a pre-conclusion. This is what the child is trying to walk to me and say, oh, listen, child may be having on with a different thing than what you have in mind. So listen. Why is that human beings are being born with 2 ears and 1 mouth? The reason is to listen more and then talk less. Now, how do we often behave? We are talking. Maybe 1 ear and then 2 or 3 or sometimes 5 or 10 mouths. Now, Pablo Picasso, you all have heard, is the greatest artist. Now, it's a painting is a medium of just sharing or extending a viewpoint, communicating a viewpoint. Now, if you look at Pablo Picasso's paintings, what he often does is, he will draw a man or a woman, and he will often try to show only 1 ear, and other ear purposefully covers. And the mouth he draws it but kind of an awkward way. So what does it communicate? We don't listen enough. And then we always have to speak. And ladies, sisters, don't get annoyed with me. In some of the photos I had seen the paintings of Pablo Picasso, when it comes to ladies, he doesn't show the ears at all. Right? So purposefully what he may be trying to say is that, okay, you talk, but you hardly listen. So what is needed is, whenever a child walks up to you, listen. That is needed. With an open mind, listen. See what the child has to say. See. And then O. I said locate L. Listen. O. Observe. Observe. The child's behavior, observe. And then when the child is doing something great, encourage. When the child is not doing something great, observe and then correct it. Now, in my life, to connect to Swami, the greatest observation of peace comes into reality. In 1990, first time when I visited, though I was married at that time, I went all alone because I had a wish, if I'm going out to the country, first it got to be to India. And if I go to India, first I must go and see Swami. So I got a scholarship to go to Hyderabad. My manager, who knew that I was a devotee at that time, he said, Tamika, you are a devotee of Papa, so that why not you go and see Swami first? So he gave me 1 week's leave. So when I went there, what happened? I was given a shed. I can still remember shed number 16. So when I walked in, what happened was that there was a boy who was seated, same skin color. He just smilingly called me like this. So then I walked up to him and asked, are you from Sri Lanka? He said, no, I'm from Singapore. But how come that you just call me as if that you know me? He said, here to serve somebody, we need not know each other. We all are here, the same way we all are here to serve another. So then, you have to settle down there for a week. Then I saw some mattresses on that. Then a white-skinned person was carrying a mattress on the shoulder and then coming. For my own habit of speaking loud, I asked him, hey, from where did you get this mattress? I asked him. So it spiked it so that the sound button could come. So I said, from where did you get this mattress? He said, outside. So that did serve as a message to me. What? Here is not a place that you got to speak loud. So you got to speak in a quite a mild way. Because sometimes when you speak loud, what happens? The heartbeat of the person who is hearing it increases. So that you got to listen. So now there what happened then, the learning I had was that you got to speak calm, you got to listen first, and then speak calm. Now the other learning I had there when I was there observing, I was thinking for a while, that the peace that prevails there, people come from different countries, different races, different religions, the peace that prevails there, it can be extended across the globe. What kind of a peaceful world this can be? And this is Swami's greatest lesson, that peace. So if everybody who goes to, if you can observe that and then come, the way how you speak to each other, the way how you behave, how calmly you walk, and how when you're standing at you without pushing the other guy, we wait for our turn. See? And then observe. So likewise, bring this factor of observing your children. And hello, see, commend. When somebody does something great, and when your children, when they do something great, commend. Means that say, well done, I am proud of you, great. Keep it up. I ask a simple question. We as humans, do we all need commendation? Do we all need recognition? Yes or no? Brothers and sisters, do we need it? Yes, yes or no? Louder? Yes. That's human nature. But do we get this enough is the question. Do we get it enough? No. Have you ever questioned why is that you don't get it? Why is that you don't get it? I asked the same question when I was addressing an audience there. I asked the question that we all as human beings, we need recognition. But do we get this enough? No, we don't. Why? Have you ever questioned why is that we don't get it? Any answers? Sorry? We want it. But why is that we are not getting it enough? The simplest reason is that we don't give it enough. We don't give it. When somebody does something great, you tend to think that, hey, what is there to go behind that person and give a pat on the back and then, hey, wow, great, well done. No. It's his duty. It's something that any ordinary person can perform, but that person has done. So what is there to go and give a pat on the back? But the best part is when you do a similar thing, you expect everybody to walk up to you, bend their knees and say, hey, come on, well done, give it up. How can you get it when you have not given it? Do you all agree with me? Yes or no? You know, there is a saying, what goes around, comes around. Have you heard of it? This I learned from my wife. You know, we moved into an apartment in Colombo, the main city area. And then what I do is that in the morning I go out, and my wife is a housewife. She's so obsessed with the house. And then she keeps on maintaining it so very well. So every evening when I get home, it is not the same house which I saw in the morning, I am seeing it in the evening. But what is my feeling? Yeah, it's true that she had done a lot of work, but what else that she has to do rather than being at home as a housewife? This is all she got to do. So I straight away walked into my room. So every day when I get home, it is not the same house that was there in the morning, I see it in the evening. It's different. So many things she had added and so many decorations she had done. And in good 5 to 6 hours she had been spending. But again, I said, yeah, come on, it's just a normal thing what she's supposed to do by being at home. And continuously she was doing for a couple of months. And one fine day in the morning she left with the children. To say that I'm going to see my parents and then okay, by the time I come home it will be late in the evening. And I had done everything for you, and that day I never had any lectures or nothing, so I was at home. Said that I had done everything, you look after yourself, and then be at home. So morning, having had my breakfast, I was feeling a bit lonely and lazy, and my wife went in a mighty hurry. So the usual things what she was supposed to do that day she couldn't do there and in the house. So I started doing that. Okay, set the place, clean the place, and change the linen, put it right, then spread the curtains, and then here and there the certain changes. I did that for good 6 to 7 hours. I spent on that, and the shades that were there where she could reach, I reached them, and then they cleaned, they fixed it, and now they are glittering all that. And to be very frank, I spent about 6 to 7 hours, and I did a better job than the job that she had been doing all these days. Now I was anxiously waiting until she comes home in the evening to show my capabilities and to get a recognition. Commendation. So when she sounded the bell, I opened the door very slowly, okay? Because thinking that one, she may not be in position to develop my capabilities and the talent, and I had done a better job than what she had done all these days. Then she walked in, looked around and said, you had arranged, no? And I couldn't bear it. I went behind her and asked, hey, is it what you have to say? Yeah, what else? Can you see the house is not the same house what was there when you were leaving? Yes, so what? I did some to make it arrange in this way and to look like this. Yes, so what? Can you see that? Yeah, I had done a better job than the job that we had been doing for the last couple of months. Yes, so what? Can you see those areas where you couldn't reach, those shades, I have removed them, washed them clean and fixed. Yeah. So what? So I said, I have done a great job than what you have been doing. So I thought you would walk in, look around and say, wow, you have done a great job. And she was telling me, okay. For the last 6.5 or 7 months, I kept on doing it every day. Tell me a single day that when you walk in and look around and say, wow, you have done a great job. Yeah, she's there at the back. Right? So, sisters and brothers, I have this question. Was she right? Yes or no?
Yes.
So continuously from nearly 7 months she had been doing not a single day where I had praised her work, where I had done it once, and I wanted a commendation from her. So there was a great learn. So that day onwards, every day evening when I get home, what do? Let the house be in any condition. I walk and say, wow. Now as a result, what happened? I get a good dinner. Why? What goes around comes around. So the point I'm trying to drive here is, brothers and sisters, that commendation we got to give. Now the whole problem, when your child becomes second in the class and then it comes back, and what do we ask? Why is that it will become first? No. When the child gets 80 marks on maths and when it comes, what happened to the balance 20 marks? Or you ask, who had got the highest mark? What is that you could be? And parents become responsible in developing jealousy in the children's mind. When you get 80 marks, that's good enough to get an A. Well done, keep it up. I'm so proud of you. Give that commendation. So L is for listening, O observing, C commendation. A, apologizing, admitting, accepting. Never mind you are the mother or the father, there could be areas or instances where you had gone wrong. Why is that you don't say sorry to your children? What is the reason? Swami says that all the time. We all have a thing called what? Ego. Ego. All the books I have been reading about Swami, what he says is put apart I. And they say that's the way how the Puttapati was being. Put apart I. Puttapati, put apart I. Right now, that's what is needed, the ego. Now, the way how I've been defining ego, I was sharing Brother with Saranara there last week at this too, that it's about ego, eccentric genetic obsession It's eccentric genetic obsession. You have an eccentric genetic obsession. You feel great about you. How often you all be great? Because it's funny. When he says that, okay, he doesn't have a thing of an ego, how can we have it? The whole problem today in this world, so many problems do take place, it's going to ego. Look at and see the kind of wars that are taking place. And innocent, millions and millions of people are suffering. Perhaps it could be 1 or 2, 3 people's ego. So downplay this. Downplay. Whenever your child had done something wrong, perhaps could be you hurt the feelings. Never go to bed without sorting it out. Who knows, that could be your last night. Always call, hug and say sorry if I hurt your feelings, I did it for the betterment of you. And do that. Be bold to say sorry. I do it to my children all the time. Thanks to Swami's here. Say sorry. But do we do this? Do we do this? Question and see. And why is that we have humans, Lord, they are questioning this. Do we have a thing called an ego? How can we have? True, human is the most superior being on the earth. That's why we call it Homo sapiens, the Latin word, wise man. But why is that you should have an ego with that knowledge, information, transformation, downplay as much as you could. Downplay. You know, there are 8.7 billion varieties of species who are living on the earth. But there are certain species who are much more capable than a human being. Take an eagle. When eagle is flying 3,300 feet above the sea level, it can spot its prey. And it will take a kind of an angle and a speed to come and grab that prey. 3,300 feet above the sea level. Can a human do that? Sometimes the curry what you have on the plate you don't see until you finish it. Isn't it? So, take a bat. Right? Ultrasound rays system. It can come in the dark to a room which is totally dark, can keep on flying all over without hitting itself in of these balls. It sends a wave, reflects back, and it knows there's a kind of obstacle, it takes a different direction and then it's dark. Can a human do that in the dark? So you come and you hit your head on the wall, it's bleeding and there is damage, and then only you realize that there has been an obstacle. So there are the living beings who are much more superior to human. And take a dog. You know, humans can hear sounds from 20 to 20,000 hertz. 20 to 20,000 hertz. But if you take a kind of a dog can hear from 5 to 50,000 hertz. That's why a dog when it's beside us, it does like this. It hears sounds that you and I cannot hear. So what do? We invest a dog, we also do like this, as if that we also can hear. No, nothing. See? And a snake is superior to a human. What happens? When it moves, it puts its tongue out to see whether there are any obstacles, any dangers. So what happens is the wind that comes gives a kind of a sensation to the tongue. And it sends a message that there is a kind of an obstacle. That's why it turns different direction and they move. But would humans can do it? No, they never understand the dangers. I mean, they meet with an accident and they don't take the worst out and they can. So there are some other living beings who are much more superior to human. Downplay your ego and use that with your children as well. So L, listening, O, observe, C, comment, see, A is admit, accept, apologize. T, thank. It can be a little thing that when a child does to you, maybe that you're asking the child, could you kindly bring that remote to my hand? Or maybe could you kindly bring that mobile to my hand? Or could you kindly switch on this light or fan or switch off the AC? It can be a little act. But then you say, hey, thank you. Then realize, okay, when somebody does something, you have to in turn thank the person. So you inculcate that. So LOCAT is about thanking. LOCATE is the most important thing, E, encouragement. When your child wants to do something great, and then when child feels, here where my talent is, never say stupid. Now the trend is changed. When I was small, my father was a draftsman. who directed me to Swami 52 years ago. But he had a serious problem. Since he was a draftsman working for irrigation department, the chief guy is an IE called irrigation engineer. He wanted me to become an engineer. All the time he wanted to become an engineer. And that's what during our time, parents were saying, the children study hard to become a doctor or an engineer, if possible to engineering doctor. Now my father, this is what he said, he tried to learn to become a kind of an engineer. But then what happened, I realized that, okay, if you want the greatest physical O-level, I go to an engineer, where I thought that I had to study a subject called chemistry, which I didn't understand at all. Chemistry. And in fact, I didn't want to understand that subject, and I didn't bother to understand. If I didn't realize the logic, why I should understand. They say 200 and with 1 oxygen, it makes water. Who cares? Drinking, and when you have water to drink, when you are thirsty, that's it. No, when you are drinking, you don't think it's 200. So I didn't understand the logic, why I should understand. Now, I'm not putting down this subject, please. There are sisters, there are daughters who are doing it, sons who are doing it, going to the no, I didn't, because the brain, the first one faculty not to be developed to understand this subject, chemistry, but no, my brain is not developed. Then I said, I hate this subject. Then my father said, what do you like? I said, I like to do commerce. He said, commerce is a subject matter which is done by all the idiots who cannot do it. So you are the eldest in the family, you must set an example to the others. So therefore that you got to do chemistry, E4C. A-levels in our country, they allow 3 times to do it. All 3 times I have to read because of this chemistry paper. And generally 3 hours are given for this chemistry paper. Each time when I went for the exam, I realized 3 hours was too much for me to write the answers. Everything what I did during the first half an hour, thereafter I had to do something. For the 2.5 hours, I copied the question paper to the answers. All right, myself. Now you know for copying the question paper, the answers script what you get. So 3 times I got tested. The next 2 times that there are, so couldn't get into university. Then my father said, now you better lie, do whatever you like to do. Right. So then in the greatest difficulty, I studied this language, English, got myself registered with some foreign institutes, and then did what I really like to do, commerce, and then managed to get myself graduated in that. But if I had the opportunity of doing the right thing, if my father had encouraged, this guy has a liking towards commerce, and without thinking of I go to go and say that one day my son is going to be a doctor or an engineer, allowed to do what the son or the child is really like to do, I would have got myself qualified in commerce much earlier than that. I would have been a commerce graduate and sometimes I would have been a professor in university. Now don't get me wrong, I am not blaming my parents. No. They never did that because they didn't love us. They loved us too much. Now we parents, we make this mistake. When your child has a talent of doing something, because nature never produces a single human being to this world without a talent. And I say, God never produced a single human being to this world without a talent. We all do have a thing called a talent. What we got to do is identify the talent that you are wanting and encourage them to excel along with that talent. And once they achieve greatness with that talent, we got to say, hey, I'm really proud of you. So it is a short period of time. We parenting, we got to understand, don't have to do anything to do with rocket science. It's all about basics. Be clear with the basics. And then just to do this thing, L-O-C-A-T-E. Right? L, listen to your children. O, observe their behaviors. And then C, commend. C, L-O-C. A, accept, apologize. And then admit sometimes when you have done wrong. And T, thank them. Whenever they do the slightest thing. And just because your child don't think that, why is that? I should thank how much I do for that. No. Then E is about encouraging, do whatever is good. And if they are doing something bad, just parenting, you have to guide them. Then again, don't be rude to them. Now, this is the difference between the Asian culture and the Western culture. Now, in Western culture, when they want to say something to a child, they would say, the father would call and say, hey Mike, today evening, after dinner, I need 20 minutes of your time. I want to have a discussion with you. Sure, Daddy. After 20 minutes time, you would walk up the father and say, Daddy, you want to speak to me. I'm ready. I come with a notepad as well. He would say that I have been observing your behavior for the last 1 to 2 months. You have found a new friend called Tony. Going to these basin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's not a good match for you. Therefore, I request you to stop associating. Now, you have everything what you got to tell me about this association. Finally, the father will win, but at least he is happy. Child was given an opportunity to speak back. But in our culture, the Asian culture, hey, I have to tell you something, and then here come. And from that moment, he said, evening, dinner, don't go to sleep. You have to speak to me. Now the poor guy's heart is, yeah, then I'm telling you, don't go to sleep without talking to me. And then nothing, yeah. Please stop associating 24 today. That's it. Don't ask any question. Child's confidence level goes down. Okay, today being the Mother's Day, I wish you all the mothers here happy Mother's Day. And with the learning what we have from Swami and the detail what I shared from you, try to take at least one thing, this information, and bring about the transformation. I wish good luck, and with the Swami's blessing, we can try to have even a little bit of transformation. Jai Sai.
Thank you. On behalf of SSGM Taman Yarl, we would like to once again wish all the lovely mothers here a happy Mother's Day. May Swami bless all of you with more strength and love. Jai Sai Ram, and now we shall offer Mangalarati to everyone.
जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की परमं पवित्रं भावाविदूर्यं परमं विचित्रं लीलाविभूषणं परमार्थईशानमोक्षप्रदायं भावाविदूर्यं विदमाश्रयामि परमं पवित्रं भावाविदूर्यं परमं विचित्रं लीलाविभूषणं परमार्थईशानमोक्षप्रदायं भावाविदूर्यं विदमाश्रयामि परमं पवित्रं भावाविदूर्यं परमं विचित्रं लीलाविभूषणं परमार्थईशानमोक्षप्रदायं भावाविदूर्यं साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ 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 साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय